What's up? This is Todd Smith. I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about Korg Gadget and is it underrated? Just a few videos ago, I did a little talking piece on is Korg Gadget dead or abandoned? And to me, that is an obvious no, even though there's been some hiccup over the last year and not a lot of content released. In that video, I stated that Korg Gadget is, in my opinion, doing very healthy and very well. But I did touch on the topic of it being underrated, and I wanted to go deeper into that topic today. Before we jump into Korg Gadget, I need to thank you for taking the time to check out this video and supporting this content. Without your views and the Patreon support, I wouldn't have motivation to pump out content pretty much every single day, push my dreams forward, and I can't thank you enough for that motivation. I feel Korg Gadget is a very underrated, underused program, and very powerful for its price tag, especially within the iOS ecosystem. It's unbelievably cheap if you have an iPad accessible to you. But with the amount of music I've made, even with the iOS ecosystem, I can feel that the $200 price tag within Windows is even justified to me. With that $200 price tag, you get all future upgrades. I'm pretty sure that the gadgets are VST, so you can use them in various form and various workflows. In my opinion, Korg Gadget has not really caught on as big in the Microsoft and Mac world. I don't think as many of those copies have sold compared to the iOS version. I feel the bulk of the users are within the iOS ecosystem right now. You have so many other options when it comes to software. A lot of people are set into Abletons. A lot of people want full-fledged DAWs. So iOS is definitely the main central point or gathering point for the Korg Gadget users. But at the same time, a lot of iOS people don't like Korg Gadget. Korg Gadget is choosing to do a standalone system and only allow the Korg Gadget synths to work within themselves, not expand to allow every other synth within the iOS ecosystem. Many people within iOS want that within, whether they're Groovebox, their DAW, they want that ability to use any iOS synth within that program. The problem there is stability. It's almost impossible to create like a super long set list with really complex chains of various synthesizer recalling, effects recalling, and then have all these updates going through and have it not affect your workflow in almost any single way, and just have it stable. And you're in a touring band and you know that is going to be 100% good and good to go for your tour. It's really hard to do that within the iOS ecosystem within most programs unless you stay really limited and use a limited amount of things. Korg Gadget gives you that stability, but a lot of people in iOS are not on stage. They're at home, so they don't really see that aspect of it. But when you talk to a lot of stage musicians, that's when Korg Gadget starts to become a lot more popular, because the stability of Korg Gadget becomes very, very firm to them. It becomes something they can rely on. And actually, the sounds that you have within Korg Gadget itself is so versatile, that's all you really need. And since Korg Gadget can act as a Groovebox and send out as many MIDI channels as you want to hardware and various other things, it can act as a central hub, central Groovebox workstation of your entire workflow, and you know it's going to be 100% stable. You can bring it on stage, control a bunch of gear, and you just feel 100% safe in that choice. And I think that's a really good option that Korg is giving iOS users to have that stable thing going on. But like I stated, unfortunately, not a lot of people in the iOS ecosystem want that, and they actually see it as a bad thing. So there's a good chunk of people within the main heart of iOS, the chunk of where the users that Gadget's going to come from, they're not even interested in what Gadget has to bring to the table purely because it doesn't work with other iOS synths. And then you have a big spectrum of the people who say it's not a full-fledged DAW. They compare it to other DAWs and they say it's lacking. It doesn't have all the features I need in a DAW. But as I've stated before, I don't think Korg Gadget is a DAW, and the fact that it's not bloated to the point of being a DAW is its strong point. It uses the strength and the quickness of a groove box and adds light DAW features, light enough to push the ability of the groove box forward, but not so bloated that you lose the quickness of that groove box feel. And I think that's the line that Korg Gadget needs to walk to be unique, continue on that strength, and the people who really, really enjoy the program seem to see that aspect of the system. So when its main core base within the iOS users have a bunch of people who don't want to touch it because it won't interact with other iOS ecosystem synths, or it's not a full-fledged DAW in their eyes, so it's not something that they need, it ends up being a really kind of underused and underrated program. I'm going to go out and say straight up that I've been making electronic music for 20 years, and Korg Gadget is probably the most efficient workflow I've ever touched, hardware or software. If it's not the best, it's in top 3 guaranteed. There's little workflow things that can always be improved. Even with a few things I feel that it's missing that would just make it blow up to insanity, it is still in the top tier most powerful tools I've ever used for music creation. So I'm actually going to take the time to start pumping out some specific Korg Gadget tutorials. So if that interests you, definitely follow and keep an eye on this channel. I myself could see me using Korg Gadget 20 years from now, and I really hope that Korg keeps advancing it in the manner that they're going, in the direction that I stated before. So what's your opinion on it? Do you think Korg Gadget is kind of an underused program? As I just stated, I feel it is. But as always, stay positive, stay creative, support each other. In peace.